All right, welcome back again to Be Sacred Space, and here we're all about self-mastery and co-creating our desired realities. I am the creator of this beautiful, amazing, and lit space. My name is Byanca, but you can call me B, and I'm here to inform, empower, and support you on your own unique journey. And please stick around. I promise you will not be disappointed. So, a little um a little note. I did try filming this video earlier, like literally moments ago, but there was a lot of distractions, so I just decided to end it there. But that's cool because this video is going to turn out so much better. You guys didn't miss it. Our barn cat, she's now laying over on the other side, but she was showing out on film, man. I mean, it's cute because she just wanted some lovin's, but her ass was all up in the camera. So maybe it is better that we are filming once again. But welcome back. I'm super happy to have you guys here. So today I would like to talk about where humanity is. And before I get into that, I do want to say, as I was mentioning in the other videos, I do apologize for the quality of the camera. In my last video, I was filming, well, I had a tripod that I was using as a selfie stick to film, and it was working for me, but I wasn't thinking, and I let my child play with my tripod, and the next thing I knew, my tripod was broken. So it is what it is. That's what it's like having kids. Oh, there comes Alberta. But I am sorry. The video was like 22 minutes, and so like holding the phone up like this is just, it was not happening. The phone naturally fell down, so you guys were like looking up at me, and I do apologize. I like to come more of a face to face because we're all friends here, of course. So without further ado, the topic of this video is kind of like the state of humanity, and the human condition, and some solutions to help improve the human condition. So first, I want to speak about a study that was done. I watched this a while ago, but I will leave a link in the description of the actual experiment. Oh, come on. You're going to come back on here and show your ass? All right. But even though this experiment was done with fleas, I do believe that our experience, hey, don't bite me. My goodness, you just want loving so much that pretty much everything is a reflection of everything. And I know I could say that in a better terms, but I'm thinking about the law of correspondence, as above so below. So I believe that the microcosm always reflects the macrocosm, and the macrocosm always affects the microcosm. And I believe that to even the simplest things, I believe that we can learn a lot by taking a unit and seeing how that unit reflects what we experience as an individual and collective, just like the way that nature works. So even though the experiment was done with mice, I think that this is a pretty good it was explained very well, and I think it shows a reflection of what is going on with humanity. And so I hope that makes sense. I affirm that it does. So In this experiment, people took some fleas and put them in a container, and so I drew some pictures. So this was a quick little drawing just to get my point through. But come on, Alberta. So they took some fleas and they put them in a container, and naturally the fleas jumped out. And then what they did was they took the fleas. Alberta, come on. If it's not the animals, it's my children. Well, if it's not my children, it's the animals. But anyways, they put the fleas in a container, and then they put a lid on the container, and the fleas jumped up, hitting the lid. So they left this lid on for quite some time. I don't really recall the exact time. Again, I'll leave the video in the description. But then after a while, they took the lid off of the container, and they noticed that the fleas would only jump to where the lid had began. So I could have drawn a line. I'm gonna draw a line. So the fleas would only jump to where the lid used to be. They would never jump out here. And then they also observed that when the fleas had offsprings of their own, that the offsprings would only jump to as high as where the lid had been at. And even though the lid was removed and these babies experience life without the lid, because the parent and what they've experienced and learned was that this is as high as they could go. And therefore, the fleas were, their behaviors, their mindsets, just the nature of them changed. They didn't recognize that there was a life outside beyond this container. And so, oh my goodness, when I saw this experiment, it was so perfect. Like it made so much sense to me. And so this is where we're at as a humanity, is that we used to be free. We used to be free. But a cap was put on ourselves, the way we perceive things. And so this cap was put on us a long time ago. And so what happened was humanity stopped being free, stopped being curious of oh no. No. Sorry, I don't like flying, buzzing bugs. But anyways, we stopped exploring what else was out there. We became stuck. We became stagnant. And even when that lid was not there, a way to say the lid was removed multiple times. COVID, the lid was removed. 9/11, the lid was removed multiple times. For humanity, our lid was removed, and we were given access to other ways of being, other ways of doing, other ways of thinking, perceiving. But because much of our generations and the generations before us spent time trapped in this container, we believe that this has been it. And so even though we have the opportunity to evolve, level up, grow, beyond this experience, we still stay stuck and stagnant. And so this is where we're currently at, though there are people who are understanding that this lid no longer exists and are exploring what else is outside. And so for us, humanity, not only was the lid put on us, even though there was no real lid. And so I guess I should explain what this lid is for humanity. So the container just represents an aspect of who we are. But there's a world outside of that container, a very, very vast world outside the containers that we can't even perceive alone. And so we were given an aspect of life and we were put into it. And so then they put a lid. And so this lid represents religion. It represents politics and government. It represents lack of knowledge of self. It represents public education. It represents mainstream media. It represents our parents and society and the beliefs that they have instilled in us. And ultimately, the lid represents ignorance. And so I think it's so funny that we think we're so advanced as a species. We think we're at the top of the chain of the evolutionary chain, but it's kind of really sad that couldn't be further from the truth. And it is because that we are still in this container. We still believe that this container is us and this is it. But there is so much more for us to experience out of here. And so the way for us to start breaking free of this container and exploring what our experience and what reality really has for us is we have to first acknowledge that we are ignorant and that there's a lot of stuff that we do not know about ourselves, and there's a lot of stuff that we do not know about what is going on here on planet Earth. And so that's hard for a lot of people because when you grow to experience life a certain way, that becomes a part of you. That becomes a part of your identity, and ultimately, that is what forms your ego self. Which the ego is not bad; it is just a natural part of you in this human experience. But there are things beyond what we were told. There are things beyond our what we know to be true about our experience, and we have to start becoming curious and explore the possibilities, even if some of those possibilities are very far-fetched, even if those possibilities seem impossible. We have to start we need to start embracing experiencing more and learning more about who we are and what is possible for us. I hope that makes sense. So what I observe and what I believe to be a important aspect of breaking free is knowing who we are and self-God activation. And you don't have to say self-God. Hold on one moment. There are mosquitoes and they're a pain in the butt here, so I'm gonna kill it. I'm gonna try. I don't know if I did. Might have just pissed them off, but the mosquitoes are annoying this year. So what do I mean by okay, So before I go into self-God realization, and then we'll talk a little bit more about self-God realization, I want to talk about self-awareness and knowing who we are. And so we as a human as a collective, think very limiting on ourselves and our ability of our potential here. Most people do not understand that our experiences, our situations, the things that happen to us in our lives are that we directly cause and influence that. A lot of people are more victims to their circumstances instead of identifying where those circumstances came from, which is ultimately all of our experience comes from our beliefs. Who do we think we are in our relationships to other people, in our relationships to a higher source? And so the first thing that we have to start doing is start exploring who we are beyond what we are taught by our parents, beyond what we're taught in school, beyond what our religion or spiritual traditions have taught us, and start exploring that for ourselves, not allowing someone else to tell us who we are, but to take that time to spend time with the self. And that's why meditation, I think, is an important practice. So meditation isn't just like I don't do that in meditations. I think maybe in my beginning journeys I might have tried to do that, but to me, meditation is sitting with the self with limited distractions and observing and identifying our thought patterns, identifying our emotions, identifying our beliefs. I'm sorry, I do say a lot, and I do often look out to the other places. I talk like that with actual people, so I do need to get better on that, so I do apologize, but that helps keep me be able to that helps me keep saying what I need to say without the, I don't know, visual distraction. Hold on. So meditation is just, sitting with the self and observing and identifying certain patterns. So are your thoughts anxious? Are your thoughts based in fear? Are you constantly blaming others? Are you constantly acting like the victim? And just observing those thoughts and observing your behaviors, and then observing like your ability to consciously produce your experiences. And so in meditation, you calm your nervous system from out of a fight or flight, which I think is the parasympathetic. I don't quote me on that. I'm so sorry. I should know this. I hear it all the time. I just can't think of it right now. To the rest and digest, relax state, which allows you to be more reflective or receptive. It puts you in a calmer state. It allows your body to heal. It also allows you to take in information, and also allows you to intentionally be in the present moment and intentionally, consciously create your experience. And so this is important to know and to understand your abilities of co-creating your realities. And so this is where self-God activation comes in. And for me, I just call it self-God activation because that's just what I call it. But you can call it anything for real. I really don't want you to get tripped up on the words that I am using, but self-God activation is knowing your power, understanding your power, and living in your power. Like, taking it beyond just knowing is putting it to action, co-creating your desired reality. And so self-guide activation is just putting the knowledge of self into action and into practice. And it is a practice. It is a daily practice that you fine-tune over time. And so I think with self-awareness and self-guide activation, I think these are the greatest stepping stones for humanity to become free of this container that we have been put into, and continue to just put ourselves and our offsprings and other people into this container, and forget the container and start seeing the world for what it could be. And so the answer to the state of humanity is ignorance, which ignorance can lead and has led to slavery, which is what we are currently under, is a slave system. And the answer, the solution to this lid that was put on us of ignorance is the knowledge of self, and the courage and the will to not only find that self-awareness, but to put that into action, to take back your power, and to start creating the reality that you want to see. If you want happiness, if you want freedom, if you want prosperity, health, and vitality, you need both of these. You need awareness of your abilities. Who are you? Besides the label that your parents, religion, school, your mama, your boyfriend, your kids have given you, like, who are you besides that? Like, let's discover that true essence within us, that soul, who that soul is, what that soul's ability is, what that soul came here to do on this planet. And let's activate that, and let's create some real change, because man, the things that I have learned on this journey and the things that I have been able to put into practice have been absolutely life-changing. Honestly, I was aware of, we have the ability to co-create our reality, but I thought it was a long and dedicated practice. I mean, it is dedicated. Sorry, I shouldn't have said that. I thought it was like a long process, and I was creating change. But my ability to create change, to manifest, has sped up. I have manifest things within 24 hours. I have manifest change within, like, well, my daughter had consciously manifest something within, like, I'm telling you, like 2 hours. It was so amazing. Like, it was great. But we have the abilities to not only change our lives, but to change the course of humanity, which is so important, because if humanity continues on the way that it is projecting right now, humanity will only continue to suffer. Humanity will only continue to know pain, and humanity will continue to repeat the old cycles until we basically destroy and wipe ourselves out, which we're heading towards that pretty fast. But I mean, it is what it is. But that is all, guys. I have rambled. I hope that has made sense. I'm sorry, I'm so itchy. But yeah, I had a great time. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for being so patient with me. I had fun. I cannot wait to do this again. I cannot wait to continue to grow alongside of you. Until next time, take care, everyone.